Luke Skywalker did something that his own masters were afraid to do, and faced a problem that's literally destroying our world today. Yoda and Obi-Wan were wrong. They believed saving the galaxy meant destroying Darth Vader, claiming he was an existential threat that couldn't be redeemed. But that black and white thinking is what destroyed the Jedi Order in the first place. Jedi like Yoda were so afraid of the Sith that they created a system of emotional suppression just to hide from it. Luke was being taught by masters who took the path of avoidance instead of doing the work to heal, but luckily Luke saw past the dogma. There is evil in the world, and Yoda and Obi-Wan were justified in their stance against it. However, most people aren't one-dimensional. Vader's actions were inexcusable, but he wasn't born a monster. He was a broken man who had always been desperate for love. And at our core, we all have a need for love and acceptance. The trauma we endure can change us, and if we're weak and we make the wrong decisions, we become something we were never meant to be. During the final battle between the father and son, Luke is enraged and attacks with all his might to defeat Vader because he wants to protect his friends and his family. He claims Vader's hand, but then he recognizes the flaw in everything. Fighting back isn't a bad thing, but below the surface of bad actions is usually a person making choices that stem from pain. Trauma and suffering, especially when prolonged, puts our mind into a kind of emotional starvation mode. Anakin became Vader for that very reason. He stopped thinking about what he actually needed or what the right move really was, and instead focused on whatever could make his agony vanish immediately. When suffering is too great, judgment gets clouded. He fell into destructive behaviors in a confused effort to survive the pain. Luke looked down at his own cybernetic hand and saw the very same darkness in himself that had captured Vader, motivated by the very same kind of pain, the fear of loss. They weren't the same person, they hadn't done the same things, but he was staring down the same path. Luke knew the cruelty couldn't continue, but he realized you can't conquer darkness with more darkness. The right path wasn't violence, it was love. During his fight with Vader, Luke threw away his own lightsaber, looked at the Emperor and said, "You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me." In that moment, Luke's voice spoke to Palpatine, but his heart spoke to Anakin, saying, "I know what you've done, but I know who you are underneath. I see you, and despite it all, I love you. I'm going to give you the love that you've always needed." It poured light directly into the darkness where the pain begun, doing what the Jedi had failed to do for generations, and finally bringing balance to the Force. In life, we can't allow evil to run free, and compassion is never an excuse for bad behavior. But we shouldn't just minimize people as good or bad, dismissing their struggles because we fear their results. We should lead with compassion as well as boundaries, and try to see the broken person beneath the mask of the monster. Someone like Palpatine would never change, but Vader did, and making genuine attempts at rehabilitation allows us to actually deal with the reasons people choose evil, instead of being cursed to forever chase after the symptoms of the problem. I relate so heavily because, like Vader, I know what it's like to be the villain of a story because of my trauma and my own weaknesses. I made choices that ruined my life and ruined the lives of everyone around me. But I was lucky. I met a 60-year-old gamer on Halo of all things, and he did for me what Luke did for Vader. He became my friend and the father figure I never had, and because of it, I managed to find my path towards healing. We all want to be seen for the good within ourselves, but we also need to be willing to see it in other people around us. That's how we close the unnecessary divides between us and start fixing the problems we all suffer from. We can have boundaries without losing love and compassion. You're all amazing people who are worthy of love, and you're not defined by your mistakes, but rather what you choose to do from this moment on. If this spoke to you and you want to control the current of your life, take the trident, like the video, and sub to the channel. I'm Trip, and I'll see you in the next one.